Welcome to this episode of Mindful Medicine. I'm your host, Tracy Jones, and we're here today with, guess who? Dr. Jim Schrenker.
Amazing that I showed back up.
I know. Thank you for continuing to show back up and talk to me.
I swear, when are we going to get other talent in here?
I don't
tired
know.
Of hearing me.
I don't know. Maybe we need to have some resumes sent in or something.
Yeah, get Dr. Hollinsworth to come in here and do some more shows.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll have him do a few. So let's talk today a little bit more about Blue Zone thoughts, and let's focus on talking about movement and relationships.
Okay. So as we've talked about in the previous things, the Blue Zone is endemic areas of the world where people tend to live longer with less intervention. One of their pillars, one of their 9 things that they focus on the most is movement. But their movement is all natural movement. Their movement is they get up in the morning, they're walking, they're doing steps, they're going out, they're harvesting food, they're picking stuff, they're going fishing. So their movement isn't going to the gym and getting on a treadmill. Their movement is natural. And in fact, none of these, except Loma Linda, California, where they have gyms, none of these places did the people go into a gym membership or anything like that. These are under by any stretch of the imagination could be considered underprivileged areas or areas of not necessarily poverty, but just simplicity. So it's the natural movement that gets them there. They're not fat. They eat plants. They move. They stretch. They practice mindfulness all the time. They all have a purpose and they all help each other. But it's the joints that are in better shape. Their flexibility's better. And I'll argue that orthopedic issues are probably the number one killer of Americans. And not necessarily a direct death, but you're 60 years old and you break an ankle. Well, it's going to take a little longer to heal that ankle.
And it's going to hurt.
And it's going to hurt. And it's going to set up arthritis. And then that's going to affect your gait for the rest of your life. And you're not going to be able to exercise as much as you used to do if it causes problems. So that one fracture at 60 probably causes more problems at 75 and 80 than it would be if it wasn't there. There may be a little bit of extra weight. There may be some you may be taking ibuprofen for it and get an ulcer, or you have high blood pressure from the ibuprofen. So there's all sorts of things to look at what I see. We all know that there's a 25% mortality of breaking your hip if you're over 80. That's a pretty well-known statistic. Maybe a little bit less in this day and age, but not very much less. So I'm not talking about a direct, hey, I broke a hip, I'm in bed, I got a blood clot, and I died. We're talking about things that have happened in your life that create morbidity later on, or decrease in gait, decrease in strength, and things like that. So certainly being flexible, certainly having muscle mass and things like that are huge for this.
Right. What are some ways that you would recommend as far as flexibility?
Well, the easiest thing is yoga. Go on YouTube. You can dial in a yoga class for your level. They got chair yoga, and they got the yoga that they can bend over and touch themselves backwards and twist. So, but the reason I like yoga is because it's a series of different stretches that work the whole body. Whereas if you go to stretch, a lot of people will think, oh, it's my hamstrings. I'm going to stretch my hamstrings or things like that. But it's stretching your neck and your back and your hips and your hip flexors and, everything. So yoga is kind of the easiest thing to do because it's so readily available. And we have yoga classes here at Integrated Health. But there's yoga classes all over the Tri-Cities too.
And I guess another good one is, especially if you work in an office, taking your break time and getting up and walking.
Right. Walking's free, right? Get up and do it. How much do you need to walk? If you look at the studies that are out there, 30 minutes 3 times a week decreases cardiovascular risk, lowers blood pressure, things like that. You need to do it as much as you can. And if 3 times a week is all you can do it, but you need to do it as much as you can. You need to get out, walk probably twice a day, every day, 30 minutes in the morning, and then preferably 30 minutes after your last meal. A little hard in the middle of winter and a little hard maybe in and rain and things like that. But you got to make an effort to do that. You don't necessarily need a gym membership. That would be nice, but then you got to use it. So
Right. That's true. And getting to the gym and
Right.
having the time. But some simple things that I can think of is when you go to the grocery store, don't look for the parking space right up front.
Right.
Like, go ahead and park in the back and walk,
Right.
and that gives you some of your steps during the day.
Embrace it. Embrace the steps. Embrace the activity. Go out and do something active after work or on weekends. A hike, a walk in the woods, manual labor. Don't shy away from doing manual labor. It works a lot of stuff. And gardening. But when we're talking to exercise with our patients, you got to be very mindful of where they are in life, right? If they're struggling to get up on the exam table, they're not going to walk 30 minutes. But can they get up and walk from one end of the house to the other end of the house once or twice? Can they do something such as leg lifts while they're sitting down? And then there's the chair squats, where you stand in front of the chair without using your hands. You touch your bottom to the chair and then you stand back up. Deceptively difficult, even for younger people, but that's an excellent thing. So there's a lot of things that you can do. Grab a can of soup and do arm curls and things like that. So it all boils down to being mindful about it. Understanding that you need to do it, understanding that you're going to live longer and feel better if you do it, and then carrying it out and doing it. But it's the mindfulness that gets you there. It's, hey, I need to do this. How many times do we go through the day and we don't even think about it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm tired. I was at work all day, And a lot of that fatigue is lack of exercise.
Right.
A lot of the fatigue is mental fatigue. And getting out and walking is the best thing for it. So
I agree. And I see your beautiful wife doing that sometimes during the day.
she has, let's see, the roller things under her desk. She's got a little walking pad in front of her desk. She's got the shake thing. So yeah, she's supporting the economy of exercise equipment. So,
Yes, but I do also see her out in the parking lot sometimes.
Yeah.
She's just like, I've been sitting at this desk. I need to get up and get that second wind.
Well, and that's what my patients need to understand when I'm an hour late. I've been out walking in the parking lot. No, I'm joking. So, yeah, some of us can't do that.
I know.
That's why I ride my bike.
Right. But she can, and it's great, and it's a good example, to
Yeah.
everybody of, just take a couple minutes, walk outside.
Hey, she's taken patients out of the waiting room and gone for walks with them. So she's a trooper when it comes to that. She does it. She's like, come with me. You've been here.
Yep, and that brings up another topic, which is relationships.
Right.
Which is important as part of the Blue Zone initiative.
Oh.
And healthiness. Who do you have in your circle? Are they encouraging?
Right.
Are they helpful? Do you share the same purpose in life? Do you build each other up? Or
Right.
are they negative?
So, 2025 is a 9-year. 9s are getting rid of things that no longer serve you. So this is a good year to shed the friends that are keeping you down, that are keeping you heavy, that are keeping you sedentary, that are keeping you negative, that are keeping you mad all the time or angry. Turn off the news, invite some new people in your life that are more positive, and surround yourself with that positivity. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to call up your friend and say, hey, and they say, let's go for a walk, when your other friend is like, why don't you come over here and play a video game or something? I mean,
Right.
So associate with that. And we know that people that are in meaningful relationships, even people that aren't in meaningful relationships or in relationships that are even a little bit toxic, live longer than people that are alone.
Right.
So there is something there about that energy of another human being. But if you can be in a relationship that means something, that you get something out of, that is huge.
Yes, it is. And if you're having a down day, you call one of your inner circle friends
Right.
up and say, hey, I'm just having a down day today. Can you just help
Right.
me get over that?
Right. Let's go do something.
Yeah.
Let's go for a walk. Let's go do so. I mean, that's my go-to. When exercise has always been my stress release. When I have a stressful day, I have to exercise. And that's just where my brain has always gone is if I need a break, it's an exercise break. Because if you exercise enough, you get tired and you just don't have the energy to worry. You don't
Right.
have the energy to do that. And it's just my way of meditation. It's my way of spiritual communing. It works great.
Yeah. So move.
Move.
It's important.
Move.
And pick friends wisely.
Right. Move and have some good friends. That's it.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thank you for watching this episode of Mindful Medicine. Remember, you are loved.